Welcome back, friends, to another little episode about professional software testing. Today, let's talk really quickly about the software testing lifecycle and about test planning. We are getting into test planning finally. All right. So, very fast, the software testing lifecycle, as I depicted here on your screens. So, test planning, test designing, test environment, test execution, bug reporting and bug management, required traceability metrics, and test reporting. So this is the life cycle of the software testing, basically, professional software testing, all right? Now, test planning is the first thing that you need to do, all right? And we have it below, explained a little bit, all right? Analyze business requirements, then find test objectives, then define test strategy. Later on, analyze risks, test environment and test data prep, define entry and exit criteria, define a traceability matrix, schedule and timeline, and deliverable. All right. Now let's get back a little bit and explain what we just said here. Test planning, it's an activity that needs to be done on a team level. It's not something that you, the software tester, or you, the quality assurance engineer, will do by yourself. You have to attract the attention of your whole team, all right? All the developers in your team and all the software testers in your team. And you will have to go ahead and say, look, guys, we need to start planning the testing phases of our final product or our product in the life cycle of the development of this program, right? So test planning is an activity, is a team activity. Do not regard this as a single man against the system, right? That you have to do everything on your own. No, that's not correct. So test planning should be a team activity for each development team. You, of course, as the senior software developer, software tester, sorry, in your team, will be the one that is going to ride this carriage. But you need input from all the team members, all right? Sometimes you will see a manager doing the test planning, especially if you are on a specific quality assurance team, then you will have a quality assurance manager. But if that's not the structure of your company and you have mixed teams of developers and testers, software testers, then the senior software tester in that team will have to drive this car and get everyone together and put together the plan, right? For starting the test. Now, getting back a little bit to the software testing lifecycle, you also have test designing, which is a specific activity for software testers. And again, the senior tester in the team is going to pick this one up and is going to basically construct, design, right? But construct the test plan containing test cases for each of the things that you decided with your team that you need to test in regards to your product. All right. Also, the phases when you are going to test this, because you will test everything at the end of the right before you release the final product. That is called system test. All right. But you also need to test this in small chunks along the way while you develop that final product, right? Now, test environment, very important. Really quickly, let's talk about that as well. As I said in a previous video, you will have different operating systems that you need to make sure that your program or application is compatible with those operating systems. You need to construct your test environment to contain as many, if not all, of those operating systems that are commonly used on the open market by your customers. All your customers will have different operating systems, of course, Microsoft or Linux based, and you will have to make a comprehensive environment that contains as many of those operating systems as possible. Also, in those machines, those VMs or physical machines, depending on what you have, you will have to contain as many programs as possible, and also in relation to your customer base and what they need, right? So you will ask them, hey, what kind of I don't know, office components do you use, so I can also install them on my test environment? I don't know, different programs. Maybe some will use Acrobat Reader, for example. Others will do AutoCAD related stuff, right? Because they are architects or mechanical engineers or something like that. So you will have to know if these applications are needed in their environment, so you can actually pick them up, buy licenses, and put them on your boxes. All right. Test execution. Now, test execution comes also in chunks, as I said earlier, in the life cycle of the development of your product, right? So the development life cycle will be stopped at certain points, so you can actually do QCs, right? Because we talk about that. And based on those QCs and what you find during those QCs, which you most likely will see them named smoke tests, then you can expand uh, the period of testing, the chunk of that execution, and from a high level perspective, you can lower the level to identify possible bugs, errors, and mishaps that are trapped in the code of your application, because you will not escape that. This is the sad truth about software development. Bugs will always appear. All right. Bug reporting and bug management. Now, as I said, I think in the first or the second video, you as a professional software tester will have to know how to create comprehensive reports about what you tested, basically, and your findings, right? So you will find bugs. You need to know how to properly do reports about those bugs, so that the people that you are sending these reports to, upper management, even team members that needs to see those reports, will know how to identify the bugs, so they can look into it, fix them if that's their job, or simply make other reports about your finding for other different company-based tasks, right? Bug management, again, you have to keep a clear track of all the bugs that you find. You will have probably a separate application that you will need to use, right? In which you will track the bugs. You will assign those bugs to development team members, software engineers that will take on the bugs and try to fix them. And when they fix them, they need to send them back to you. So name assignment is a must here. Yeah. Depending on the style of software development that your company has, I don't know, uh, done or do, if you will. So this will vary, and you probably will know what your company does and how it does. So you don't have to think about that too much. That's each company has their own style of handling these situations, right? Now, the requirements traceability metrics. Now, you need to know that for each thing that you want to do, you have to construct a matrix. So some Excel skill will be needed here, because it's the easiest way to construct comprehensive metrics about um, traceability stuff, right? So it's, yeah, I know it's documentation. No one really likes to do documentation, but it's necessary, because otherwise you cannot prove uh, your findings you cannot relate to other people that are not acquainted to software testing. Many people will understand better a matrix written in Excel than maybe if you just relate, hey, I found this, and uh, based on this traceability matrix, we can do that. No, they need to see those documents, all right? So this is a must. You have to do it. Not only you, but also your team will need to be acquainted with this traceability matrix, and based on it, the whole development life cycle is going to be conducted, not only the software testing life cycle, if you will, all right? And of course, test reporting will be composed of the bug report, the bug management, and the requirement traceability matrix. You will have to have all this ready at the end of the testing life cycle, so you can actually present what you've been doing, what your colleagues been doing, how you spent your time, how many findings did you have, and by findings I mean bugs, of course. Um, how many errors, and so on. And of course, programs that in conjunction with your application has created a certain error or a certain bug on each operating system, on what operating system did the bug occur, and what happened when you try the same thing on a different operating system or a set of different operating systems. All right. So you have to be aware of this part. Software testing is not only executing tests, but you also have to create a certain documentation that you can use to inform people of what you did and what you find. All right. Now to get a little bit in the test planning part, so analyze business requirements. We talked about that in a past video. Find the test objectives, right? Do you remember the questions? Well, there you go. Define the test strategy. Now we'll talk about this in a future video because it's a bigger topic. It's not really what people think that this is. There's a lot of fog around defining a test strategy and defining a test plan. So I want to discuss this in a future video. Analyze the risks. Yes, this is something that the software tester needs to do, quality assurance engineer needs to do. You will need, of course, tools, resources, time, all right? So based on this, you will make a risk analysis. Test environment and test data prep. I think it speaks for itself. To define the entry and exit criteria, again, we'll have a separate video for that. It's a big topic. I want to discuss it on a larger scale. Define the traceability matrix, all right? Schedule and timeline. Now here is not really up to you to define this. You can say, hey, I need this more time. This time frame is needed for testing. This time frame is needed for environment prepping. This time is required in case you'd have to do regression testing, which means I found a bug. Now I have to trace it back to its origins in the development life cycle, right? Yeah, you have to make these suggestions, but it's not up to you. And schedule and timeline usually will come to you from the upper management. And finally, deliverable, right? You have finished everything and you can deliver. You're a happy tester, right? Okay, this is all I wanted to talk about in this vid. Don't want to go over the 15 minutes, as I said. Thank you for watching. Hope this helps a lot of people, and see you on the next vid.